What is the one thing you need to know before moving to the Temecula Murrieta Valley? That's what we're talking about today. Hi, I'm Jessica with the Genung team in Active Realty. I am married to Chris, who is also an agent. We work as a team, and we have two sons, JT and Bobby, ages 6 and 5, and we have a border terrier named Zoe. Welcome if you are new here, welcome back if you're not, and thank you as always for stopping by my channel. I really appreciate all you viewers, and if you have any feedback or video requests that you want to let me know about, just drop them down below in the comments. The one thing that you need to know about before moving to our area here in the Temecula Valley is the property taxes. When I'm first meeting with a new client, which I'm normally doing over a Zoom or a phone call, I always ask them, are you familiar with how the property taxes work in our area? 95% of my clients initially do not know how the property taxes work. So I will then explain that to them and now to you in this video. There is a big range of property tax percentages throughout the valley. It ranges from about 1% as a rock bottom rate to about 2% for the total tax rate. The difference between a home, the property taxes in a low tax neighborhood and a high tax neighborhood could easily mean the difference between $300 or $400 in your monthly mortgage payment. So it can make a really big difference. Here is the key. The newer the home, typically the higher the property taxes in our area. The older homes typically have lower property tax rates. So if you are only wanting new or newer construction, the trade-off is that you're going to have higher property taxes. So these are the decisions that my clients are weighing. So what do I mean by an older home? The Temecula Valley in general, it's a newer area. The property taxes seem to be the lowest around the year 2000 and older. In the early 2000s is when the cities and counties started negotiating with the builders who were passing on extra costs along to the new home buyers. So for infrastructure projects, some utilities, things like this. So these extra line items, these are called special assessments in our area. One of the first things I do when I have a client inquiring about a property or we're touring a property in person, I always provide my clients with the special assessments amount, the total of the special assessments. The base property tax rate throughout California is 1%, and there are often some additional line items that are added to the base rate. Your mortgage lender can give you the exact property tax rate and line items, but your realtor should certainly be able to give you a ballpark estimate. So when I'm giving my clients that ballpark estimate, I'm typically taking that, I'm going to call it about a 1.1% base tax rate, and then the special assessments are going to be added on top of that. So every property in our area is going to have that base rate of about 1 to 1.1%. So I usually just use 1.1% for the ballpark, and then we're going to be adding on the special assessments. I categorize neighborhoods into 3 property tax categories, let's call it. So I consider low taxes as my first category, is special assessments under $1,000 for the year. I consider medium property tax neighborhoods to be $1,000 to $3,000. Again, that's for the whole year, and these are the special assessments. High property tax neighborhoods, this is in my opinion, are $3,000 and above, and that is going to be your brand new homes and your newer neighborhoods as well. Okay, so I'm going to be showing you what the property tax breakdown looks like for a couple different properties just as an example. So I'm going to start with a low tax neighborhood, and then we're going to look at a higher tax neighborhood. So both of these neighborhoods are in Murrieta. Same applies for Temecula, same applies for Menifee. We calculate these the same way. Speaking of calculations, I will teach you how to calculate the property tax rate and kind of find out roughly what the special assessments are on your own. I'm going to do that in a part 2 video where I will walk you through that. All right, so starting with this low tax Murrieta neighborhood. So you can see we've got the assessment and tax information here. This is going to be the total of the special assessments. So this is really just typically all that my clients care about is what is the total of these special assessments. So we're going to be approximating the 1.1% tax rate times the offer price, and then we're going to add in these special assessments to get the overall tax rate. So as I said, Under $1,000 a year. These special assessments are for the year, not for a month. Some people ask me that for the whole year. Under $1,000 is low. So this $222 for the entire year, that is rock bottom taxes for Murrieta. I rarely see under this. Also, just to give you an idea about this property, it's in the Golden Triangle area, which is common for having low taxes, and this particular home was built in year 2000. Let's go ahead and move over to our next property. This property, I believe we pulled it from Spencer's Crossing. This is from a home in Spencer's Crossing. I believe this one was built in year 2000, I want to say. And you can see we've got a big difference in the special assessments here. So we have 39, 31 special assessments. So that's going to easily add another $300 to your payment. Also, what's kind of interesting, so what makes up this number down here is all of these line items here. So if you want to really dive deep into the taxes, Chris made a very detailed video that talks about the special assessment breakdown, kind of how they originated. He's going to define Mello-Roos for you because that's a more common name for special assessments. In our area, we call them special assessments though. So the big line items, the differences between the newer and the older properties, the cities and counties were able to negotiate with the builders these Community Facilities District bonds. These are bonds, so the CFDs for short. So these are normally big line items. So you can see you've got 1,200 here. It looks like we have another one here. This one's for Paris Unified High School. This section of Murrieta is actually within Menifee and Paris School District. So that's going to be this $300 line item here. Here's another CFD, French Valley CFD. So this might probably had to do with bringing in some parks or that sort of thing. That's $847. So you are able to go online, or you can call the tax assessor, and you can actually call each of these line items. I did this for my first house. I was kind of wondering, oh, when are these bonds going to be maturing? Because do they roll off, these ones that are bonds? A lot of times they do. I often tell my clients just to be in the mindset that you're going to have to pay it. They're typically 20 to 40 year bonds. They're not maturing for a while. I've heard sometimes they can even renew, but I think typically they do roll off. So I was able to call, got somebody knowledgeable on the phone, and they were able to tell me the exact date that the bond ended if you are curious about that. So this property out here in Spencer's Crossing, which is a higher tax neighborhood, this is a good example of how you can see in the last data, that point that we have is from 2021. They have the total assessed value here at about $534,000, but the total taxes are $10,000 a year, and that is because of these fun special assessments right here. If we go back and we look at the other property, so the assessed value is $456. By the way, this is not the market value because we have something called Proposition 13 in California, where your assessed value can only increase by, I believe it's about 2%. So that's why, this property is probably worth $200,000 more than the assessed value. But, Prop 13 is like, an awesome proposition that they passed to help keep property taxes down. So you can see this assessed value is $456,000, and the total taxes here are only $5,400. So not that much difference between these two properties, about $75,000 in assessed value. Let's see, what do we have here? 530, so yeah, 75, 85,000 or so in assessed value, but almost twice the property tax amount for the higher neighborhood. So that's very important when you are calculating, how much you want to spend per month on your mortgage payment. Hope that was helpful. Stay tuned for my next video. I will give you the breakdown on how to calculate it yourself. See you next time. Bye-bye.